Hi students, I am Rihanna here from Srinarayana Institute of Technology, Adur. We are studying the subject Civil Engineering Project Management for 8th semester Civil Engineering as per APJ K2 syllabus. And now we are on the revision part and we are discussing module 1, which is Construction Project Management. And in this module we have already covered the topics such as unique features of a construction project, phases involved in the life cycle of a construction project, detailed project report, construction planning, construction scheduling, work breakdown structure, different methods of construction scheduling. And in these different methods of construction schedule, we have studied in detail about the bar charts and milestone charts. And we are going to study the network diagram, which is one of the most important method of scheduling. There are two types of network analysis are available. They are critical path method or CPM and program evaluation and review technique or PERT. And before studying this network analysis in detail, we have to know the basic concept of this network diagram. And today I am going to discuss the basics of this network diagram. What is network diagram? A network is a flow diagram consisting of activities and events connected logically and sequentially. That is, a network diagram consisting of a sequential or logical arrangement of activities. The logical arrangement of activities gives a network diagram, or the activities which are connected in a logical manner gives a network diagram. So it is a technique used to represent the activities in a sequential order. Network rules. The first rule: initial node can have only outgoing arrows. There must be only a single initial node in a particular network. An event cannot occur until all the activities leading to it are completed. An event cannot occur twice. That is, there cannot be any network path looping back to previously occurred event. Here is a network which shows the sequential relationship. Here, 1 is the initial event and 6 is the final event. We can clearly see the logical relationship or the sequential relationship between the activities such as 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 3 to 4 or 5, 4 to 5 and 5 to 6. There must not be any dead end left except the final node. The final node can have only incoming arrows. There must be only a single final node. A particular activity cannot have two arrows. The number of activities should be equal to the number of arrows. Logic of network should always be maintained. You have to practice to draw the network in such a way that to show the time flow from left to right. All constraints and interdependencies should be represented by use of appropriate dummies. Dummies or dummy activities means activities with zero time, or the activities that consumes zero time, or the activities which does not consume any time can be termed as dummy activities. Types of networks. There are basically three types of networks are there. They are activity on arrow or AOA network, activity on node or AON network, and event oriented networks or PERT type networks. So there are three types of networks are available. They are activity on arrow or AOA network, activity on node or AON network, and event oriented networks or PERT type networks. So there are three types of networks. They are AOA network, AON network and PERT type network are available in network list. Activity on arrow or AOA network. It uses arrows to represent activities and nodes to represent events. It is usually event oriented. An AOA approach requires the addition of a dummy activity to clarify the precedence relationship between the two activities. That is, in an AOA network, a dummy activity is used to clarify the precedence relationship between two activities. We know that dummy activity is an activity which does not consume time. Here is a figure showing the AOA network. There we can see the network. In the network we can see the dummy activity. 2 to 3 is the dummy activity. Usually a dummy activity is represented by means of dashed arrows and it does not consume any time. Next is activity on node or AON network. This method is also called precedence diagram method. It uses nodes to represent activities and arrows, which indicates the precedence relationship between them. It is usually activity oriented. If the arrow starts from the end side of an activity and ends at the start side of an activity, we can see the predecessor relationship between them. Suppose that if the arrow starts from the end side of an activity A and it ends at the start side of another activity B, then A is the predecessor of B. So these are in this diagram. Here we can see the relationship between the various activities. In the first diagram, there is the activity number and the activity name is specified. And in second diagram, the B depends on A. And in third diagram, C depends on A and B. And D depends on C. And in the third diagram, B depends on A. C depends on B. And D depends on B. The general rules for constructing a network. Try to avoid arrows which cross each other. Use straight arrows only. No event can occur until every activity preceding it has been completed. An event cannot occur twice, that is, there must not be any loops. An activity succeeding an event cannot be started until that event has occurred. Use arrows from left to right. Avoid mixing two directions. Vertical and standing arrows may be used if necessary. Dummies should be introduced if it is extremely necessary. The network has only one entry point called the start event and one point of emergence called the end or terminal event. Numbering the events. After the drawing of the network diagram in a logical sequence, every event is assigned with a number. The number sequence must be such that so as to reflect the flow of the network. The head of an arrow should always bear a number higher than the one assigned to the tail of the arrow. The rules for numbering the events. First of all, event number should be unique. The event numbering should be carried out on a sequential basis from the left to right. The initial event, which has all outgoing arrows and with no incoming arrows, is numbered as 1. Delete all arrows emerging from all the numbered events. This will create at least one new start event out of the preceding events. Number all the new start events such as 2, 3 and so on. Repeat this process until all the terminal event without any successor activity is reached. Number the terminal node suitably. Next is the differences between an activity on arrow and activity on node network. AOA networks. Activity on arrow networks. It is composed of arrows and nodes. The arrows represents the activities and the nodes represents the events. Each activity carries a brief description, usually printed on the logical diagram, the activity name or symbol, and the time duration. At present, this method seems to be the most popular method, and it was the first method to be introduced, developed, and computerized. Next is AON networks, activity on node networks. In AON networks, the nodes represents the activities and arrows their interdependencies or precedence relationship. Nodes are usually represented by squares or rectangles, but circles and other convenient geometrical shapes may be also used. Activity number and description are written within the boxes representing the nodes. Length and direction of the arrows have no significance as they indicate only the dependency of one activity on another. So basically AOA is event oriented and AON is activity oriented. So here I am showing an example for the network construction. Construct the arrow diagram comprising the activities A, B, C, etc. up to L such that the following relationships are satisfied. A, B and C, the first activities of the project, can start simultaneously. A and B precede D. B precedes E, F and H. F and C precedes G. B precedes E, F and H. F and C precedes G. E and H precede I and J. C, D, F and J precede K. K precedes L. I, G and L are the terminal activities of the project. With these relationships, we can draw the diagram like this. Here the diagram shows that the dummy activities D1, D2 and D3 are there. D1 and D2 are used to establish the correct precedence relationships, and D3 is used to identify the activities E and H with unite end events. The events of the project are numbered such that their ascending order indicates the direction of progress in the project. So we can see the events in a logical sequence. In order to ensure the logical sequence, the dummy activities D1, D2 and D3 are used here. Next is lags and leads. Lag is defined as a minimum waiting period between the finish or start of an activity and the start or finish of its successor. When the first activity is still running and the second activity starts, this is called lead. The balance of time for the first activity is known as lead time. Lead time is the overlap between the first and second activity. So hoping that you have understood the portions. What is AOA network? What is AON network? Which are the general rules for constructing a network, and how we can number a network, etc. You have understood. Okay, study it well. After studying this only you will be able to draw networks and can use the method of critical path method and part for analyzing or for scheduling the construction project. Okay, thank you. Stay safe.